What's up, climbers? My name is Carmelo and this is Fingers of Fury. So this is going to be an overview video of our newly redesigned ZODD, the Ergonomic Training Edge. Here it is right here. This video is going to be me giving you the full rundown on all the features. So what is an ergonomic training edge? So first of all, I'm going to direct you to Dr. Tyler Nelson of C4HP. You can find him on Instagram and other places. But basically, whether by a stepped design or a curve like I've done here, you're going to better account for the difference in finger lengths you have on your hand. We also go with a deeper depth, a larger radius. All of these things are going to make for a more comfortable lift, and each finger is going to be able to maintain a half cramp position, whereas on a flat edge, some of your fingers may be more straight and rely more on the tendons and ligaments in your fingers. So before we move on and talk about the design features of the ZODD, we got to talk about the material. So we make all of our products out of CNC machined aluminum, and then we texture it afterwards using a two-step media blasting process. This gives it a perfect texture that I like to say is better than wood, but not as abrasive as plastic, like a urethane hold. So what this allows us to do is give you the most durable material that you can buy a portable hanging board in. You can use it without chalk if you live in an apartment and don't want to get it all chalky. You can also wash it whenever you want with regular dish soap. We'll get it perfectly clean and back to feeling like brand new. Also, the real sleeper feature of this is the integrated eyelet we have on here. What this means is that it's an ultra short and compact setup, very strong, and you can attach it directly to a carabiner if you're doing floor lifts. This you'll appreciate a lot if you're especially shorter and you have trouble that you have to stand on something in order to lift the weight up. Also, it makes it really convenient for attaching a sling if you're warming up at the crag or other load cell type devices. All right, now let's go over the design of the ZODD. There's a lot of different ways to design an ergonomic training tool like this. One of the more popular ways is to have a step design where each finger falls on its own individual step. Now, I experimented with this in many other different ways, and I ultimately came upon this symmetrical arc design. Our version 1 of the tool was very popular and sold hundreds. Not only that, is between that design and the version 2, I had many people, over 100, test a series of different designs, some of it more closely mimicking the arc that we had before to somewhere of an in-between of that step design. Ultimately, more people still like the arc. I did a slight redesign of the radius of this arc in here. Then I also relocated this eyelet here, and where I place this eyelet will change how your fingers are going to interact with this radius here that your fingers will sit on. So I made it a little bit more comfortable, but it's more or less the same edge, and it will be a little bit cheaper because I was able to make it out of less material because of this design. We also lost a hold on the back that the original one had. Now, to talk about the symmetrical arc and why I think it's better. First of all, the step design, you'll have your fingers right up against a step for each finger, which I personally found uncomfortable. And I didn't find that it offered or really had any more benefit than a simple arc like you have here. Not only that, if you train with a lot of people and different people have to use it, like you're in a gym session or you just share your edge, this arc has been tested with people all the way down to youth climbers and larger male climbers. Myself, I'm 6 feet tall and my wife is 5 feet tall. We both find this equally comfortable. Now, not only that, is since it is just an open edge, like most other edges, you can do pairings of fingers. If you want to do 3 or 2 fingers or what have you, you can do that. But not only that, because of this arc, you are able to shift your fingers from one side to the other, and that will bias that side of your hand that is beneath the eyelet, which can be helpful. It's kind of like training like a 3-finger drag, where you can bias those fingers without actually having to drop a finger. Not only that, the corners can be used as a mono, and so this is just a much more versatile training tool than many of the other ergonomic training tools out there. So it will have a lot more versatility than just your standard half crimp with 4 fingers. So another unique feature of the ZODD is that it will be coming with 3 different inserts. These are going to be a 5mm, a 10mm, and also a curved insert. So these use my flexure design here, which makes it for easy insertion into the ZODD. I'm going to include some close-up shots of me putting this in here. So right now I just have the 5mm, and these can come out really quickly with one finger and press them right in, and the flexure keeps it inside so it's not going to fall out. So this is going to give you access to, in addition to the starting 30mm depth, you're going to get a 25, a 20, and a 15mm depth. And that curved insert is going to allow you to adjust for how far each finger sits in there. It is just a default single radius, but it is going to help you between the depth inserts and that curved insert, allow you to adjust for how far your finger fits in there so that the first joint or the last joint of your finger sits right on that radius, making it more comfortable to lift. So that's the ZODD in a nutshell. It's a clean and simple design, but I really tried to pack the most amount of features in a small and durable design. So if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Otherwise, thanks for watching.